Well, you're looking at a beautiful little Telecaster, Mexican made, and has an excellent tone on both pickups. We're going to do a free setup for him on this guitar, but most importantly, we're going to put a new nut on it. His is just worn completely out, and it's below the level that you can cut it and try to reshape it. See how flat that is to the board? It's like they've tried to save it, but it just won't save. So, new set of strings, 10 Diodarias, and we go from there, right? First thing you gotta do is get rid of these old strings. You've seen this done a million times on my show. I just simply cut them free, right about mid-string. So I have enough to wind up into a little coil, and no one gets stuck. Alright. So just pull these little babies out. Well, we got those off again for the millionth time. Oh boy. We're going to wrap these inside the old ones. Sure you got all 6 of them here, so they don't get lost and no one gets hurt by them. Again, I strongly suggest doing this rather than just throwing them somewhere, even in the trash. Someone screwing around, dumpster diving is going to be a big surprise if you don't do something with them. Okay, so that's done. Give them with a toss. And got a nice clean guitar. Fretboard's in pretty good shape. Got some just beginning cowboy chords on the frets, but that's just started, and that doesn't need to be looked at all. Right? Like I said, the tone on this guitar is just absolutely perfect, but it needs a new nut. So he's decided to go with the tusk replacement, which is a good choice. And you'll see it's got that little nub on the bottom of it, which some of these have it and some of them don't. So that's going to be the question here. Does it have a nub or not? And just to be on the safe side, what I try to do is always be safe, is just get this thing a little bit of a cut free right on the edge of the nut, just in case there's anything extra that I don't see, like a finish over. Where they've actually taken the finish and sprayed it over. And I think I've got just a little bit coming up now. Yeah, I do. So it's got a little bit on it. Now, next thing we take is a little tool. It's called a punch. So we have what's called a punch and a dead blow hammer. Right? We're going to give it a little tap. Not a lot, just a little tap. Get it free up there, and it might come just flying off, depending. My hand's going to have to get in there, guys. And it's already freeing up. I can see it. There she goes. Wow, that's really glued in there, guys. They really overdid the glue on this. That's a really tight fit too. Let's get that out of there. Yes, this particular nut doesn't have a little tail on it, but the guitar does. So if he's bought the right one, it'll fit in there perfectly with no problemos. Just gotta make sure that that little that receded area is not dirtier. Aha! It's been filled in. So, we'll have to do some hand tooling on this nut by taking that little nub off, and we'll do that on the bench in the vice grip that you see me do 1,000,000 times before, and we'll just sand that little thing right off. So hang in there while I rearrange the camera to show you how we take care of the nub on the nut. Well, we also have a little issue with the width of this. Obviously the smaller cuts go on the bottom side of this, and it's just too wide, so it's not actually going to fit in there. I'll have to do some hand adjusting to this, not only on the nub but also on the width of it, and that's kind of concerning. That takes some time. And it's also got some mold marks on here, guys. A little mold mark there on it, right there, if you can see that or not. The camera will focus on it. That's got to come off. Get a good contact with that fretboard. Doggone it. And I'm hoping that once we put this in there, it's going to have the proper height to it. Just taking that nub off, this nut was made to fit with this nub on it and be in there properly, and it's just not going to fit. Maybe even the radius may be a little bit awkward on this thing too. It is the right length, I'm sorry. It's the wrong width and the height's bad, and we got to adjust that. So hang in there, guys, while I set this up to shave her down. Alright, I'm going to take my little common file here and knock down this little nub. I'm going to try to sand it down. This takes too long, and I think I can get it down pretty squared away, but basically I'm just going to take the edge of it and work it in my hands rather than put this into a vise. But when it comes down to see how it's taking it away real fast, when it comes down to doing the sides of this, the thickness of it, I will use my vise and sandpaper. So just set it down right there on some, use something you can see, I hope. Let's get rid of this. You can see it goes pretty fast, so you gotta kind of be careful with doing this. You don't want to split the nut. Personally, I think that they should offer these without the nub. Again, this is what costs the player money to hand do these nuts. Wow. See, that's all going away. So we'll finish doing this up, and we'll show you how it looks like in the on the vise sand. Do the width, get the width down. Hang in there. Alright, now we got the nut nub off. Let's go ahead and see if we can't try a dry fit on this. See how bad off it is. And I think it's pretty well. Yeah, it's too thick on all sides. The whole thing's got to come down just a bit. And what we'll do, I'll change the camera around for you to take a look at this. And I'll use my sandpaper again. It's like I'm doing a lot of sanding on these guitars lately. And we'll go from there. Show you how that's done. Hang in there. Well, like I said, we put the sandpaper in the file. It's kind of a medium 220 grit. What we're going to do is just back and forth with this and fit it and fit it and fit it until we slide it in there. And to be safe, we always do both sides. We don't want one side fall off and ignore the other side, which takes off the takes off the logo, but that's okay. And you put equal pressure on this. And you see how much is coming off with this, I think. Yeah, see all that coming off there? It's a lot, because that's part bone introduced in this. And even after that little bit of sanding, I will check it with the guitar and make sure we don't go past the width of these things. And of course, you don't want the nut to snap in there. You want to slide in there easily, nice and smoothly. So we're back at it again. We're trying to get this nut down to the proper shape. Like I said before, I've got tools to use, electric tools I can sand this with, but oh, they're just way too fast for a little tiny nut like this. I use those mainly to shape a bone nut from the blanks. You know, because I have to have that. Here you are with a bone nut. See how much bigger that is? That's a lot of work to do that by hand sanding. So that's where I bring out the power tools. And I've got a base bone nut to create for one of the guys. He wants to have his base 100%, and it's really nice. It's American made fender. And now we've got this thing fitting properly. Yay! So let's spin it around. Now we have a proper fitting nut for this little Telecaster. It comes in and out, well, a little tight right now, but anyway, it'll come in and out. It'll sit flush with the sides of it, not the bottom. So I'll put a couple of drops of slow working glue on each end of this, and then set it in and measure it to make sure I've got it squared up in the right position for the strings to be put, you know, in there properly. But as you see, it goes in there readily. It's not going to wobble on me. That's what you call a good job on shaping a pre-cut nut. So hang in there, guys, while I get the glues out and set this thing up for final. Now, to do this right, what I'm going to do is take some towel in this and go through this little slot, make sure there's nothing left, like that little piece of glue that just came out. You can see dust and glue coming out of this. And what I may do is take my little tiny file, which I think I'm going to do, and go ahead and file that that old glue out, which looks like this. Where are you? Right there. This little tiny file here. And we're not going to reshape anything. We're just going to get in there and clean anything out that shouldn't be in there. Just on the sides. Right. So that's all the glue looks like coming out. It's gone. That's a nice and clean little slot for it now. Put that back where it belongs. And time to get the glue out. Do it up. Alright, so I'm going to use just the tiniest bit of glue on this. Just a little bit of drops on the corners. And I really don't need that little spigot on there. This one I'm using. Alright. It's a little thicker. It's a little slower acting. One drop there. One drop there. Like that. That should be more than enough to do it. Get these in there. Has a chance to set up. There she goes. Okay. Now we're going to continue on with the cleanup of this guitar. We'll string these in there. These new Diodarias. And of course you've seen this done a million times on my show, my channel. Nothing new, nothing new. These are nice strings. Okay, let's see. What's good about my strings, my sets, is that I buy them in such a large amount, I can actually give the players, you know, a good price. Not charge them arm and a leg for just a set of strings. Just makes the setup go easier and cheaper. Hi, Heidi. That's my youngest Doberman. And she's talking. Hi, Heidi. She wants to talk right now. She's talking to some friends across the street. They're all having a confab. Anyway, what I want to do is get all these strings lined up so it goes easier on me. All the holes lined up straight across. Make sure that they're nice and loose on those locks. Bring that all the way up, right? And I'll be doing this backwards a bit. And I'll be using my crippled little green monster. The reason I use it is because I've got this thing and it still works, and it's smaller than my regular one. Much smaller. Now I'll go 2 posts up. See that? 2 posts up, then back, then do the wrap. Catch it right like that, then take my little thing upside down and start twisting. You can see some of that. And as I always say, it was about 2 to 3 wraps around the spindle so that he could do any type of tuning he pleases. Makes it nice and easy. And that neck really needs some adjustments to it. Once I get these new strings on there, what I'm going to do is adjust this neck. It needs some relief. I mean, it's almost bowed up. That is a problem. Come on, baby. For these types of saddles, you gotta bend the string up at the very end where the binding stops, so it'll go inside easy. Okay, again, take it through, 2 spaces down. Okay. Bring it back. Wrap it. Pull it tight. Here we go, here we go. Next string. From this D string, then up to the infamous G string. Alright, don't need as much when you go up this high, right? So you can take about a spindle and a half distance on these. Even less on the unbound strings. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Alright, you got to hold these things tight near the spindle. It really takes 3 hands to do this, but I'm getting a little better at doing this on camera. Alright, there it is, tight enough right now. And believe it or not, yesterday I actually tightened up an E string perfectly to the level of the E note, the high E. Of course, it didn't stay there, but the whole point was I did it just, you know, there it was, like, wow, when I went to tune it. That rarely happens. Alright, here we go. The infamous G string. The one that caused everybody problems, including me. Don't give me any problems going in the saddle. Come on, baby. Yeah, it's going to give me problems as usual. And it's hard to grab this with your hand and get to go up inside these saddles when they're bent up like this. So you got to put a pretty good curvature to it, but unfortunately the string twists in your hand because it's so thin, nothing to really hold on to. Try to go up in that saddle, darn it. Have I got enough on this? Well, I had enough going in the wrong saddle. Let's try the right one this time. There it goes. Oh man, I hate doing this. Okay, got it. Got that nasty little G string in there. What I'm going to do is cut those free too. Get those whiskers out of my way. So it'll be easier to film this. I'll leave a little bit more on these so you can tell me what he wants off later. Yeah, I'm going to leave a little bit longer whiskers on these. And he can later tell me if he wants them cut shorter with these locking tuners. You may want that done. Alright, come on, baby. Get yourself in there. Alright. Now the G string is 1.5 gap. And that's all you really need. Nice hard twist on that string. Keep that thing working. Now I'm going to switch hands around here. Oh, come here, baby. You can't pull it real tight yet until it's got at least a little bit of twist on it. Now you can pull it tight. Make sure it stays above. Alright, the reason he changed nuts before the G string was broken on it. But these are absolutely, it looks almost perfectly in the grooves. About 50% in, 50% out is what you want. And then we're getting into the G, and it's in, but at the proper angle, right? To help that sustain. So this is working, that nut's working out just right. Just like it's supposed to. Can't wait to hear this guitar with that nut in there. This tusk nut, semi-boner. Of course, gotta be careful when we say boner on YouTube. They're starting to what you call it? They're starting to cut out everybody's. Okay, now guys, a little closer in here. Get these last ones. Okay, let's get this B and E, and like I said, you don't need as much, just the spindle's width and that'll do it. The trick is to get it underneath that little tree there. Gotta get it started though first. Looks like it's going to behave pretty well. Good. It's doing it like it should do it. And it's in exactly the right spot of that nut, at the very front edge. Just like a professional cut nut, huh? What do you think? Okay. You know, I must have said this a million times before. I would never want to buy more than one set of strings for my guitars. So I was always leery about putting this E string on and breaking it and having to go out and buy another E string. Because I want to save my money for something else, like cheap books and sheet music and better amps and better speakers and shit. So now I buy these things by the gross. Now if it was smart, I'd go ahead and buy like 2 or 3 dozen just E strings with different gauges. That way it's like, well, if you break it, grab another one. I'm pretty sure you can buy it like that. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you can buy those by the gross, you know, or a couple of dozen at a time, just an individual string. Alright guys, last string, last chance to break it. Okay, there you go. Well guys, there's this setup, and there she's done. All 6 strings all nice and shiny, nice and new. Isn't that nice? Okay, sorry guys, I keep turning the camera off. Anyway, this has got a beautiful finish on this head. The wood's just gorgeous, kind of like a bird's eye maple, you know? Wow, nice, nice. So hang in there guys while we tune this thing up. Then I'll adjust the neck and intonate it, and I'll be on its way home. So hang in there. Well, alright, I'm just going to tune this thing up now. This is the first tuning, so they're going to be way out and off for a while. Of course, there goes the sirens, and my dogs love them. They love to sing along. Okay, we're going to let this thing settle for a while. Then we're going to check the neck. I think this thing, yeah, it looks like it's got a forward bow in it. We'll put some relief in here to stop this buzzing from happening and go from there. So hang in there, guys. Tell us a little about your guitar and you, dude.
Yeah, hey guys, my name's Ariel, and I have a little Mexican Tele that I got on a trade, and I've been playing it for about a year now.
Cool. Let's hear what its voice sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Cool. Take us to the pickup. pickups, Ariel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's got a nice fat tone to it here. Yeah. Nice. Good blend between the two. That's not bad. All right, let's hear that tweaker. Let's hear that bridge. Let's hear that baby. Yeah. Let's add a little crunch to it, Ariel. Hold on. Alright, now to go for it. Cool. What's good about your guitar is you got really clean pickups, you know, really clean. So when you go distortion, it's not muddy, it's a clean gain, it's a clean distortion. Yeah, those are good guitars, my friend, and you got a good one.